Welcome back. All right, so Joe Pavelski. Yep, with the news today that Joe Pavelski may very well be at the end of his career. At the very least, he's not planning on playing next year, is what he told the media. And with the fact that he's turning 40 in July, in all likelihood, his career is probably at an end. That being said, if anybody at age 41 could get themselves into shape and get a contract from a team, I wouldn't bet against Joe Pavelski. But at this point, it looks like his career is probably done. He was the number 205 pick in 2003. So another 2003 draft pick. That draft class was stacked. His nickname's Little Joe, Captain America. Little Joe, of course, because Big Joe was Joe Thornton. And he joins Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau as all-time greats with the Sharks, who did not get a Stanley Cup ring, despite having long, fantastic careers. I don't think Pavelski ends up in the Hall of Fame, but I don't think anybody's going to complain if he does. And I say that because he never won a major award. He was never number one in scoring in the NHL. He was very, very good for a long time, though. So I'll put him in my Hall of Fame today. How does that sound? All right, so THG Hall of Fame is where I normally put players that either I really, really liked a lot when they were playing, or players that I don't think are going to reach the Hall of Fame and I think kind of belong there. So in this case, it's kind of a little bit of both. You could make the argument for him to be in the Hall of Fame. Also, he's a player I like quite a bit. So, 06-07, he reaches the NHL. When you're drafted 205th overall, making it to the NHL is a win. 46 games, 14 goals, 14 assists, 28 points for the Sharks. 1 goal in 6 playoff games. So, good, strong rookie season. He follows that up by playing every game in 07-08, 82 games. 19 goals, 21 assists, 40 points. Again, if you get a 20-goal scorer at 205th overall, it shows really good drafting, and that the player has defied expectations. 13 games in the playoffs, 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 points. So good, strong run in the playoffs, too. 08-09, the scoring comes up a bit. 80 games, 25 goals, 34 assists, 59 points. This is the kind of progression you love to see in a career. In the playoffs, though, just the 1 assist in 6 games. 2009-2010, 67 games, 25 goals, 26 assists, 51 points. In the playoffs, 15 games, 9 goals, 8 assists, 17 points. He was very good in the playoffs. He was a producer there. He ends up with 4 career overtime playoff goals as well, 3 of them in San Jose, 1 of them in Dallas. 2010-2011, 74 games played, 20 goals, 46 assists, 66 points. In the playoffs, 18 games played, 5 goals, 5 assists, 10 points for Pavelski. So they go all the way to the conference final in 2011, lose against Vancouver. And there were years that San Jose looked like were right on the verge of maybe winning that Stanley Cup. They just never quite get over the hump. 2011-2012, 82 games played, his first 30-goal season. 31 goals, 30 assists, 61 points. In the playoffs, he did not get a point in 5 games played. 2012-2013 is a lockout-shortened season, 48 games, 16 goals, 15 assists, 31 points. And in the playoffs, 11 games, 4 goals, 8 assists, 12 points. So Pavelski, prominent, very good player, above a point per game in the playoffs, and garnering respect everywhere he played. 2013-2014, meaning that for people who see him play, even if you're not a Sharks fan, I think you respected his play. 82 games the following season, 41 goals, which is 3rd overall in the NHL, 38 assists, 79 points, which is 8th overall in the NHL. Then in the playoffs, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points in 7 games. He's the 2nd team All-Star that season. He's 7th in Hart voting and 8th in Selke voting. So you could look at that and say that was the best season of his career. And I would say that's very likely, although he did have a season where he recorded more points. I think that season was fantastic. In 2013-2014, scoring was definitely down, comparatively speaking, to the 2021-2022 season, where he recorded more points. 2014-2015, 82 games played again. He stayed relatively healthy throughout his career, too, although there was a very prominent injury with him, too, we will get to. 37 goals in 2014-15, which was 5th overall, 33 assists, 70 points. So really, really solid numbers, very consistent numbers from Pavelski. 2015-2016, 82 games again, 38 goals, which is again 5th overall. 40 assists, and his 78 points is 6th overall in the NHL. So top 10 in scoring twice in 3 years, between 70 and 79 points, between 37 and 41 goals, just so remarkably consistent. In the playoffs, San Jose goes all the way to the final that year. 24 games, 14 goals, which leads the playoffs. 9 assists, 23 points. He played in his first All-Star game that year. He was 9th in Lady Byng voting. Very gentlemanly player. And again, he was top 10 in Selke the one time, showing he's a very good two-way player as well. And again, you get into that respect where he's captain of the Sharks and pretty beloved by Sharks fans as well. 2016-17, 81 games, 29 goals, 39 assists, 68 points. In the playoffs, 6 games, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points. And again, an All-Star game appearance. So he's in back-to-back All-Star games, 2017, 2018. He's back to playing every single game again. 82 games, 22 goals, 44 assists, 66 points. In the playoffs, 2 goals, 6 assists, 8 points in 10 games. So again, the Sharks are in the playoffs almost every single year he's there. They were a contender for a lot of those seasons. Again, it's just that not quite getting over the top. 2018, 2019. 75 games, 38 goals, 26 assists, 64 points. In that first round, San Jose played against Vegas, and Pavelski was on the wrong end of a play, which would lead to a 5-minute major power play for San Jose, where they would then knock out the Vegas Golden Knights. And that was kind of one of those keystone moments there. But during that season, the regular season, 75 games, 38 goals, huge bounce back from those 22 goals the year before, 26 assists for 64 points. He ended up playing 13 games during that playoff run, 4 goals, 5 assists, 9 points. And he's an inspirational leader for San Jose. He was seen as a huge part of the reason why they got as far as they did in 2019, and yet they let him walk. They let him go. They went in another direction. Keeping Carlson and deciding that they were going to go in another direction. I don't think that did them any favors. I don't think that San Jose would have ended up not being in a rebuild if they'd kept Pavelski. But I don't think Pavelski would have had an ask in his contract talks with San Jose anywhere near what was paid out to Carlson. So 2019-2020, he ends up with Dallas. July the 1st, he signed with the Dallas Stars. The first year in Dallas was not a success. 67 games, 14 goals, 17 assists, 31 points. And at times that season, he looked kind of lost. And it's understandable. He had been in the San Jose organization for almost 15 years. And so trying to adjust to a new team, it makes sense. It takes a while. And in the playoffs, it clicked. 27 games, 13 goals, 6 assists, 19 points. Almost had the same amount of goals in that playoff run as he did during the regular season. So, yeah, it really clicked. And it carried over into the next season. 2020-2021, where teams are just playing within their own division. 56 games, 25 goals, 26 assists, 51 points. And he was 7th in Selke voting that year. So, again, really good two-way forward and very well respected. And fantastic numbers from a guy who's getting closer to 40. 2021-2022, 82 games, 27 goals, 54 assists, 81 points. Sets a career high in points at, age 37, 36, 37? Insane. In the playoffs, 7 games, 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points. Played in the All-Star game. So, All-Star games in 2016, 2017, 2019, and 2022. In 2022, he's also 6th in Lady Byng voting, which, of course, is gentlemanly play. He was, I don't remember anybody ever getting mad that Pavelski was a dirty player at any time during his career. 2022-2023, because he wasn't. But 82 games played in 2022-2023, 28 goals, 49 assists, 77 points. Again, this is at age 38. He is still putting up 77 points, which is right in line with where he was in his prime years here, even though he's nowhere near prime compared to most hockey players. In the playoffs, he has another remarkable run in 2023. 14 games, 9 goals, 5 assists, 14 points. He was 5th in Lady Byng voting last year. This season, 82 games, 27 goals, 40 assists, 67 points. And towards the end of the season, you could see that, he'd slowed down a bit. But at age 39, I mean, that's expected. 19 games played in the playoffs, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points. He did have his struggles in the playoffs. Chances that he would have buried 10 years earlier, now he was struggling with this year, became really obvious. Plus, I think it was obvious that with Dallas, there are a lot of good young players coming up. Stankoven comes to mind, Bork comes to mind. And so Pavelski was very likely to drop in terms of where he was in their lineup if he had come back for next season. I'm going to say this too. If he hadn't said he was taking next year off, and if he said I wanted to stay in Dallas, I guarantee Dallas would have found a way to keep him. I think Dallas would love to have had him on the roster in any capacity, even on a fourth line. I think Pavelski does you more good than harm. 1,332 games played in his career, which is 60th on the all-time list. His 476 goals is 55th on the all-time list. 592 assists. 1,068 points is 71st on the all-time list of points. In the playoffs, 201 games played, which, and again, it's sad he never won a Stanley Cup. That's a good, solid number of games played there. 74 goals, 69 assists, 143 points in the playoffs. Those 74 goals in the playoffs, the most scored by a U.S.-born hockey player in a career. He did win silver at the Olympics in Vancouver in 2010 with the USA team. But yeah, he had an excellent career. We can have the debate about whether or not he goes to the Hall of Fame. Again, I'll put him in mind today, just to point out that he became one of my absolute favorite players. That second year in Dallas, it was fantastic, and I respected him in San Jose. But when he got to Dallas, and I will admit I paid a little more attention once we get into where I was doing the channel full time. And the more I saw Pavelski, the more I appreciated his game. It was definitely more than just points. I've seen people criticizing his play in the playoffs. I didn't think he hurt Dallas. The scoring wasn't there, but I thought defensively he was still there for him as well. So, very well-respected player. He will be greatly missed. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you've not done so. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.